Hi, good morning. I'm back with yet another episode of my video blog. And today, around this time of the year, I'm going to talk an interesting and subtle aspect of corporate and personal life. Come November and December, and many of us, including me, start wondering as to how the year has flown past. It does happen, especially if you are at the cockpit. But it has its own pitfalls. It does take its heavy toll on what we call action reflection conjugate. Put simply, action reflection conjugate is a mind frame, is a framework by which we deliberately reflect back on our actions, activities over the weeks, over the months, and throughout the year. Recently, I was meeting one of my friends, and his multinational organization has the calendar year, and as he was preparing for year-end business closings, reviews, and so on and so forth, he quipped with me, you know, how the year has flown past. I couldn't barely notice it. And this friend of mine is no exception. There are many professionals who suffer from action reflection deficit. Before we go into the implications, let me talk about why it does make sense, a profound sense, to have a deliberate reflection mechanism in our daily lives. Often, we are so entangled with our tactical deliverables, our performances, our priorities, our imperatives for family, for the business, for the professional career, that we barely could snatch out some meaningful reflection and downtime. What happens as a fallout is we suffer from what we call lack of mindfulness. A fad in now today's management and corporate circles, but it has deliberate rooting and rationale. Simply put, mindfulness is a psychological tool, a mind frame whereby we are acutely aware about our surroundings, what's going on in our surroundings and environment. But thanks to the pulls and pressures of today's corporate world and personal lives equally, we seldom have self-reflection time. We are so much enamored with our doing self that literally our being self takes a backseat. Such a backseat that we at times forget who we are at the core. What are our critical aspirations? What are our ambitions at the core of our deepest feelings are? We tend to lose touch with the very purpose and the meaning of our lives. Now, put simply, its biggest implication over a period in time is our personal effectiveness. Professional effectiveness as a natural corollary comes alongside. We can't sustain the quality output and outcomes that we yearn for. And hence, what I practice over the weekends, I take out a cool 30 minutes to 45 minutes time off from my family, my work environment, and I try to do a self-reflection sitting in a corner of the room. Often it does happen in my hotels as I travel frequently, but this is the time where I possibly touch base with my deeper core. Many of my subtle feelings, untouched agenda on a professional and personal note get revisited. And that's exactly how I get connected with my deeper self. It might sound easier, but in practice, it might take a little deliberate attempt. You have to deliberately look for opportunities where you can sneak out those crucial 30 to 45 minutes time every week, where you could purely have no agenda, just to reflect back on the week gone by. Repeated over the weeks, over the months and quarters, I'm more than sure you will start realizing the finer tunes that you possibly would have shunted out otherwise. As the year draws to an end, I urge each one of you, I appeal to each one of your good self to deliberately cull out some meaningful time, some quality time to converse with yourself. We have spoken enough about deeper conversation, meaningful conversation with teams, colleagues, families. Through action reflection, what I am urging you to have a deeper conversation with no other than yourself. When you touch base with your deeper core in a meaningful fashion, you start the magic rolling out for your external world. Your action gets embellished, enriched through your reflection. And hence, I request you to fraction out some of your time over every week for what I call action reflection conjugate. As you prepare to close the year with real bang, great sense of accomplishments on both personal and professional fronts, please do take good care of your mental stockpile by what I call action reflection conjugate. Your deeper reflection will propel your actions to the next orbit. I wish you every success in the coming year 2018. And do reflect. Thank you.